Okay, so we've had this hefty step on the pedal trash can for a while. We've noticed that the lid doesn't go all the way up when you step on the pedal. And then I noticed that the pedal itself is all cockeyed. So I thought I'd see what's causing that. So flipped it over, and you can see I've got the pedal mechanism is actually broken or torn. So I'm going to see if I can repair that. But while I had it flipped over, I noticed that there's these little gray things. I'm like, what are those for? They have like little arrows on them, and you can twist them to keep it spaced away from the wall. They're not the same distance as the lip of the lid, but it's better than it pushing all the way against the wall. So that's neat. I wish I would have noticed those like over a year ago when we bought this, because I always have to pull it out away from the wall. To get this pedal out, just take a little screwdriver and gently pry. Hard to do one-handed. Try this side. There we go. So when you pry that out, your arm is going to lift off there too, and that hinge just comes out like that. So I'm going to go down to my shop to see if I can repair that. Okay, so here's my piece, and you can see it's kind of warped out of shape. And I think I'm going to use a heat gun just to warm that area and soften it a little bit, just to kind of get it back into shape. I'm not trying to deform it at all. Well, not deform it out of shape anyway. I just want some of that stress taken out. So I'm gonna let that cool down, and while it is, I'll explain what I'm gonna use. So I've got a drill with a 1mm drill bit. I've got a roll of, this is a 28 thousandths stainless steel wire, and then I've got some safety wire pliers. I'll post a link to these down in the description. These are the big ones. They also offer a shorter set, and if you don't have a pair of these, you can just use a pair of needle nose, and you could always wrap a rubber band around here so that they stay tight, and then just spin it by hand. But you can see now with the clamp off, it's much closer to its original position. So I think I'm just going to use a bit of super glue, do a bead on there, clamp it in place, let that set up, and then I will basically stitch it. The stitch is going to be hard because you can see on the underside of here there's a rib that runs all the way up through here, and the crack goes right along that rib. So I'm going to have to drill a stitch hole on the left side of that rib and on the right side, but then I'm also going to have to do a hole through the rib so that I can make an entire loop through there. I got the smallest drill bit that my drill chuck can hold, and the wire still be able to get through it. So I'm not having to deal with getting glue on my fingers. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start making these holes. Okay, I'm gonna have to get a little closer to drill the holes in the ribs. So I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, so I've got all my holes drilled, and then through the ribs. So I got a little tiny tube of crazy glue here. So I'm going to try to get some glue there on that rib and then down the seam. And then we'll clamp it together for a few minutes, and then I'll start stitching. Okay, so the glue is taking a while to set up, and I don't have any CA glue activator that you can just spray on and make it cure instantly. One trick, if you have like puddled super glue, you can sprinkle baking soda on it, and it will make it like almost instantly cure, and it forms a very strong but kind of brittle like epoxy type stuff. And so I just sprinkled baking soda in here to get it to cure up. And then the top side was, because I tried to wipe the excess super glue off, it was kind of smeared, so I hit it with some fine grit sandpaper, 800 and then 1000 grit, and did a little bit of a wet sand on it. But you can see I've got these two stitches here. And then I'm just going to show you a couple to see how this is done, and then I'll do the rest off camera. So I've got just a short piece of wire, and basically bend it in a little horseshoe, and then insert it into the paired holes, slide it all the way down, and just so you don't have kind of this rounded over top, use your pliers and just kind of hammer it down so it's a little bit flush. And then from the bottom side, you will just grab both ends of the wire, squeeze tight, slide your sleeve down, and then you pull the knob and it'll just twist. And now you can continue twisting until the wire actually fatigues and breaks. So you just kind of got to get used to what that threshold is. I've got my finger on the other side of it, and so I can kind of feel when it's getting tight. And I think I'm going to call that good. And then just get a wire clippers and clip close to the end so you're not removing the twist, and then a needle nose pliers, and kind of bend a little soft edges and poke them into the plastic. That way you're not catching your finger on that. So it's basically just repeat that all the way through, and I'll show you what it looks like later. Okay, so there it is, all stitched up. I hit this area with my heat gun just to kind of glossify the plastic. Basically just melt all those little tiny scratches from the sandpaper. And so this is all hidden underneath the trash can anyway, and then here's the underside. See the baking soda in there. But I think this is gonna work fine. So I'll put it back on there and we'll see what happens. So that's gonna be it for this one. I'm gonna go get this reassembled, get the trash can working again. Plastic repair, there's a ton of different ways to do it. I could have completely filled the backside of this with epoxy and all kinds of crazy stuff. You can also get plastic welders. You can use a soldering iron or just like a wood burning kit to do some plastic welding. I've never really had very much luck with that. The channel 65Ford, he's got a bunch of repair videos of stuff like this, and I know he's done a couple different ones on plastic welding. I'll link him down in the description. But that's going to be it for this one. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like what I do, and hit that subscribe button. I am almost at 10,000 subscribers, which is just nutty to me. But till next time, we'll see you later.